All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Rev and Trading channel. Hope you all are staying safe out there. As always, we have some exciting new updates coming. Going to look over those today. Going to look at a couple new indicators I've been working on, and then, strategy and an update and all that stuff. So buckle up. Here we go. So first thing we're looking at here is the projection addition to the Rev and Ribbons. I've been working on this for just a bit here, but it needs a lot more work to increase the probabilities and the just the stats of it and all of that stuff. But the idea of this is it gives you a probability that price is within the range of whatever bands you're looking at. So from resistance 3 to support 3, it's about a 60% chance that right now I have to look for it on 30 bars, so on April 25th, that Bitcoin is between 57K and 88K. So pretty, decent probability that price is between there. Again, once I get a bit more work done on this, these odds should go up, and the curve of this indicator will look a bit different just to project a little bit better. But that's the general idea. For options traders, this hopefully will be a super useful tool, and it comes with a table if you're looking at 1 to 2 bars out, 3 to 4 bars out, and so on. Obviously, 1 to 2 bars out, it's a very high probability because the bands don't move that fast. The further you go, the probabilities get lower naturally. So that is, again, coming for Rev and Ribbons users. I have a few indicators coming for the bumper bands users on this table. Talked about this a while ago, but this is just a general scalping indicator. And I'm working on a bunch of oscillators to go with it, but probably only one or two of those will actually release. I just have to find the best way to use this indicator to make an oscillator, and so on and so forth. But this is coming for bands users. Some new strategies are coming, though those will be a little bit further away. I'm really in coding mode right now, so that is heavily where I've been focusing my time. Speaking of, another cool update that's coming is a Rev and Ribbons strategy. So this is just taking the ribbons and giving you general probability of, right now it's just the midline bias. So this means if it's above the midline, taking profit at each band, or below the midline, taking profit at each band, it goes long and short. And this is the general equity curve if you traded it like I have in here, which is take profit 1 takes 8% off, take profit 2 takes 12%, take profit 3 is 20%, and so on and so forth. And the general idea of the strategy is it's honestly going to go sideways when Bitcoin is just kind of consolidating. But when Bitcoin starts to trend is when you really make some incredible profits. And as you can see, take profit 4 and 5 have a very high percent that it's taking profit. Actually, take profit 5 is just whatever remains from the rest. So it's just naturally going to be whatever you don't have allotted by the time it gets to take profit 5. So anyway, the way I have it set up now is take profit 5 takes a very large chunk of profit, does not get hit as often, but it does, get some major gains when it does get hit. And again, the strategy goes long and short, so it'll be super helpful and useful. I will make a swing version of it as well. I have not even started on that yet, but that will probably be better for ranging markets. This will be better for trending markets. And as always, do your own research. And if you think we're going into more of a ranging market soon, which I do kind of think we probably will, don't expect this strategy to do a whole lot. There is a lot of sideways during ranging markets, and then the equity curve really starts to pick up, going long and short after that. So that is coming here very soon. All right, let's look at a couple different time frames for Bitcoin and just kind of get some expectation for where price is headed. 4 hours doing what the 4 hour does, which is generally swing pretty well. It had a little bit of a trending move back here. It closed under this dotted support band here. From closure, it only went down about 1.2%. But if you got back in closer to the actual dotted band, that's a nice little 1.8% gain there, which is, not a whole lot. You actually probably, if I was trading this, I would have, most likely, it would have been a decent loss because the next bar was a massive move to the upside. However, this swing, if you would have traded the swing right here, which is the rejection of this dotted resistance band, to the dotted resistance. That's a nice 3% gain. And it looks like right now it's wanting to trend to the downside again. So I don't look at this as good news for Bitcoin in the short term. We just had a closure under, and it's rejecting off of this dotted support band, which is, again, not great news. If I see another closure under here, very likely that on the 4-hour time frame, at least we get some moves down, maybe to, I guess, the mid 60 area, 65K area, 65, 66. So that's the 4-hour. The 12 hours also showing downside bias. The interesting thing is on CME, Bitcoin on CME, I saw Crown was using that for the ribbons today, and so I took a look, and it actually gets the moves on the 12-hour and the 1-day time frame a bit better. So you can see the 12-hour time frame had a minor close above and then another close below it, so that would be, immediately go short again, and now we're having a follow-through on, if you're just trading the midline bias. We've had a nice 3, almost 4, actually about 4% move to the downside since closure, so pretty good. We also have a down cross on the momentum oscillator that happened all the way back here. So it's been crossed down for a while and never really crossed back up. So when I see it reject the midline and not cross back up, that's a decent probability that we'll get down again to about 65K area. I'm looking for a swing to the 65, the dotted support band right there. On the daily time frame, it's about the same thing going on. This is where the chop might eat some equity up if you are trading the strategy, or obviously it's not out yet, but when it is out, just something to take note of. When you even get a minor closure above, it will go long, or minor close below will go short, and you can get these major wicks. So there's also a stop loss part included with this, but we did barely see it close above. Actually, if you would have been trading this on CME, which does not have nearly as much history for the equity curve, but it did not actually go long. So it might be a little bit, more useful to use this strategy on CME, and it tends to get moves just a little bit better there. So we're still in a short here, and I'm still working on this a bit. It should have entered a scalp right here, where it entered a little bit heavier, going short if you close below it, and then it wicks back up into the midline. That is generally a place scalp. You can place a scalp, and this band does scalp in and out of positions. So anyway, all that to say, I'm pretty stoked for this indicator. All right, now we're gonna look at the 5-day, and we'll go on from there. Here's the 5-day. Not much going on here. We didn't even see it actually officially reject off the midline. It just never made it to the midline. It's kind of floating there. The 10-day, however, is still rejecting that dotted support band. The last closure on the 10-day still rejected and closed below that. So I'm still looking at this downside bias. Now, it's getting harder and harder to close between that, because that dotted line is coming down pretty heavily. And in 5 days, it's going to close. 68K is the number to watch out for. If it closes below there, I maybe look for another move sooner than later, maybe over the rest of this month or into next month, going a bit lower here. And on the monthly time frame, if I can get to that, in the monthly time frame, we do see that we do have general, the next month after it touches this support band is generally a green month. So right now we're looking pretty similar to what we hit back here in 2022, and then you have more red months coming from there, usually going down a little bit further. So, and this dotted, not dotted, the support 2 band is at 54K. So at some point, if we wick into that, would not be super surprised. But once we start reclaiming this dotted support band here, I don't expect price to majorly go lower. And if we do expect the next few months to be like the past cycles have been, we do expect sideways to happen until September of this year. September to October is generally what I'm looking at for sideways, maybe a little bit down, kind of, something like that to happen. And then we'll probably see our bottom, put in. I'm expecting somewhere around 50K at the lowest, but we will see what happens when it gets there. So let's look at a couple other things, and then we'll wrap it up here. We got silver. Silver's finally looks like it is done trending, so it got all of this move, massive trending move to the downside. Could have taken advantage of that. I was not trading it though. Then we got a bit of a fake out, a close above the midline, back to close below, but we are finding support. So for swing trading, this does look like a general area of support. And we have a down cross on the RMO, but it is quickly starting to turn around. So does look like momentum is turning around on silver and gold, which probably means Bitcoin is due for a bit of downside, because I expect as metals tend to float back up maybe to that midline. What is happening here? Float back up maybe to that midline here. Maybe we see some movement up to that midline and then rejection. That's about 4.7 thousand, where I expect the midline to be over the next few bars, and we will see momentum on the RMO turn to the upside. So again, this is looking like we're ready. Trending move is likely done for silver and gold. This is gold on the 1 day, by the way. I do expect to see a bit of sideways and floating up here, and then most likely a rejection again. Now, maybe the move isn't over, and if we see gold reclaim that midline, while volatility is still high, I would look for a move all the way up to 5,000 and maybe even above here. So I will just be watching out for that on metals coming up. The last thing I wanted to mention in the video is Agent Smith has been working on a super cool piece of technology that I'm going to be using for my YouTube videos. This helps you plan, and it uses AI to, if you are a creator out there and want to create content, this is a super useful tool. It's at clickalchemy.ai. And I would really recommend checking it out. Go to, I'll put that in, I don't think that was in view. This is the website up here, clickalchemy.ai. But it's very, very simple and easy to use. Generates thumbnails, helps you generate just the bio, the description, or all of that kind of stuff for content videos. So super great tool. If you are a creator, I would, like I said, really, really recommend checking this out. And I'm sure you can message Agent Smith on Crown's Discord too as well. Just look him up, add him as a friend. He creates some content, so check his content out and check this tool out as well. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it off today. I will leave the link for all of this stuff in the description below, including this right here. And Agent Smith has a YouTube as well, so I'll include that in the link below. So it would be great if you all support him, check him out. He's doing really great work over there. And again, stay safe in this market. Look for new updates coming soon for bands users, ribbons users, all of the above. There's some new updates coming, so really excited. All right, talk to you guys in the next video.